Okay, good day everyone. Um, it's me, Besdin. Today we're going to learn to start this lesson on how to develop Android app. Uh, so our first topic is user interface. So we're going to take a look at all the widgets in Android and how to access it and how to use it. So guys, this lesson we are going to use sketchware. You know, when if you and as in if you can use sketchware to build app on Android Studio, will be very easy for you because you understand the fundamental, as in the basic parts. Okay, so I will open sketchware. Okay, so let's create a project. Um, tutorial. Um, I don't need to say this. Create app. Okay, here we are in the user interface. This is it, the user interface, and the user interface consists of all this here. These are the layout. These are the widgets. We have a lot of widgets, so we are going to explain it each one by one and how to access it. Okay, so first let's take a look at test view. No, let me explain this first. Now, on in Android, if you want to build app, the first place we have the interface, and this face here, you just, as in this side, this on in this user interface, you just, it's like you just drop a picture there. So then we have the back side. The back side is where you do the programming. Okay, so maybe like, you don't understand what I'm saying. Like, for instance, now maybe I'll add picture here. This is the test view, image view. I'll add image view here. Okay, now this is a widget, so I add it to the user interface. Now if someone open this application, now the person will see this. Okay, now this image has, if I want to access it, this image has ID. So at the back of this application that I'm going to, let's say that I'm going to program it, I need to get the ID of this image if I want to access it, or if I want to change this image, or maybe if someone press something, or if time goes on, maybe time interval by maybe 2 seconds or 3 seconds. So now you see that this is the ID. Now if you want to access it, you see, you click here. This is the ID of this image that I add. This is the ID, image view 1. Okay, so this image view, the ID is image view 1. Maybe for instance, if I add button here now, this button, okay, now this button has ID. If I want to access it, to use it, now this is the interface. This interface here, if I want to access at the back, I need the ID to access this button. Okay, like if someone click on it, I need the ID. So now what I just did here now, let's see, let's say if you are writing it, if you are using Android Studio now, let's see how it's going to be. No, let's check source code. You go here, source code. Now what we just we are seeing at this what we are seeing here, like this now, that a view like this now, that I add image view here, then a button. Look at the source code. Let's say if you are programming it on Android Studio now, check here, source code. You can see the main, you can see this is the layout. Now look at the image view. If you want to look at it, this is the code you will write. Now sketchware make this simple by just drag and drop it. Now if you are on Android Studio on PC, on laptop or PC, this is the code you need to write to add that image view that I just drag and add, drop. And if you want to add that button, this is the code you will write. So this is how it works. Now we are talking about the user interface now. Okay, so let's go to this book. Okay, now test view. You can see that test view is used to display text to the user. Okay, now for instance, if I want to add something, maybe I write text here. Let me add layout, this layout. Now look at this text here. This text, the text. Let me drop this button, this layout. Match parent. Okay, gravity. I will explain this later. Gravity. I want to bring it to the middle. Now look at this text. Now this is the text view. Okay, so it's used to display text to the user. Now if I want on my app, so that if I want to write something on it, now this text view, I write example or experience and experience. Okay, now look at it. Now let's say someone run this app. Now this is what the person is going to see on the app. Okay, the person is going to see this on the app. So this how it's going to be. Let's run it and see how it is. Now I'm running it now, so I've installed it. Let me open it. Now you can see this is the application. Now let me go and look for it. Look at it here. So if I click on it, you can only see this. It's nothing. So this is just a view. This is what we mean by user interface. It doesn't have any function, as in just a view, normal pictures. Okay, so let's get back and try to add some. Let's try to explain some of the stuff so that you understand it. Okay. So let's go to this. Now the text view is used to display text to the user. Okay, now if you want to display any text to the user, that is the text view. Okay, we are talking about the user interface now we have edit text. Now this edit text is defined subclass of text view that include rich edit. It is used to get text input from user. Like if you want someone, maybe you want to create a registration form. Now this edit text view, when you drop it here, if someone writes something here, someone will have a way to write something, as in your user can write something in this text view. So we call it text view. Now let's check the source code. If you want to add text view in Android Studio, now see, you are going to write this from here. You can see the text, the hint here, the size, text size, Android padding. The padding is 8 dp. You have the layout, wrap content. So if you want to write this, if you want to add text view in Android Studio, now this is the code you are going to write. But in sketchware here, you just drag and drop it and the code will write automatically. So this text has ID. Look at the ID here. The ID, this one is not there, but if you want to access it, you need to write this ID. So the ID is edit text. So if you want to access this edit text, we are going to use the ID. Like for instance, now if I want to receive, maybe if I want to get something from here now, at the back, I'm not going to the back now. So let us understand this first, this interface first. So this text view is used to accept input from user, so your user can write something in it. Okay, so that is it. Okay, let's go to another. So we have button. Okay, I've talked about button, like a button that someone will click. Okay, button is used to perform an action by press or click. Okay, like hold it, press mean to hold it down, or then click. Now look at this. This is a button. This button has ID. If you want to access this button from the back where we are going to program it, we need to use the ID. Look at the ID. ID is button 1. You can change the ID to anything that you will remember. Okay, but we leave it to this button 1. Now let's check. Okay, we have checked that before. Okay, now let's go to another. We have the image view. Okay, the image view is like if you want to add picture now, so that the picture will show, you are going to add the image view. Okay, image view now. So if this image view, you can select. If you want to add, if you want a picture to show now, you see we don't have any picture here now. So we are going to talk about that later. This image view, you can add a picture to it. Okay, so I'm explaining the interface now. Okay, we have radio button. Now this radio button is like something that like you select something. The radio button is not let me check. It's not in it's not here. It's not in sketchware. Okay, you can see. So the radio button is not in sketchware. So if you want to write this radio button, it's like you just write radio button, just like the way you write button, check or uncheck. So you can see the limitation of sketchware. So but you have to understand it. So you have radio button group. Now you can see radio button group will show a lot of options. You have toggle, the toggle like on and off. Okay, let me check whether sketchware has it. We don't have toggle. Okay, we don't have toggle here. Okay, we have checkbox here. Okay, now let's check. We have switch. Now it is used to display check and uncheck state of button provided light to user control, which indicate the current state of switch. Now this switch, now you can access the value. Let's say if you add it here now, you can see if someone click on it, that is true. If someone unclick, that is false, it get false. So these are the interface. The interface is where we add a lot of things. You are just adding it. It doesn't have any function now. It's not performing anything now. You have not programmed it. So this is what we call the interface. The interface can design it according to the way you like it. Okay, but we are going. Let's say you still have a lot here. Okay, checkbox. Now checkbox is we should use checkbox when presenting user with a group of selected. Maybe you want someone to select a lot of maybe you have a lot of option and you want someone to select it, maybe more of it. Okay, that is what we use by checkbox. Okay, you have a switch like this. You can see switch on off. So these are the widgets now. Okay, progress bar. Now the progress bar, like the thing will be rolling. We have different type of progress bar. We have one that will be going. There are a lot of different types, but in sketchware here we have only 2 types here. Okay, so if you want to check this type, you go down here. See, don't forget any widget you add here. When you click on it, the attribute, as in the how do you call it, the features or the settings will show here at the bottom here. So when I click, let's say for instance now I click on this image, now the setting will show here, the ID will show here. Look at it at the bottom here. Okay, when I click on this checkbox, the ID checkbox 1, that is the ID. If I want to access now, I'm going to use it. If I click this progress bar 1. Okay, so if I want to change the style now, you can see the style. You can see it has this another style. Okay, so this progress bar, this is the user interface. We are just talking about the user interface now. Okay, now rating, we don't have that in sketchware. We don't have this rating in sketchware. Toast, we have it in sketchware. Something that will post up, that the toast we are going to talk about it when doing the functions. Okay, time picker, we have it here. Sketch, so you have to know the difference between the system and Android phone. So some of these that we don't have it, you can add it if you know how to add it, the source code. Okay, now you can see this button now, this is the source code. Image view, checkbox. If you want to add checkbox to your view now, you just write this in Android Studio. Okay, but that's why if you don't have system now, you have to use this to learn. When you learn this, it become very easy for you. This progress bar, if you want to add progress bar to your view now, you add the ID first, then the size, hide the layout width. Match, let me explain this. Match parent means it should cover the screen. The layout weight now, it means weight, it should cover from left to right. It should cover it. That is what we mean by match parent. Okay, now wrap content means that whatever is inside, it should it should enlarge. Maybe if you add something inside, it will enlarge. That's what we mean by this. So let's check. Okay, now I think we are through with it. Okay, we have to map the calendar view. You can see this is the calendar view. Okay, so let's drop this. It's too big. We have a lot of view here. We have add view. This we want to show advertisement. I can't use it now because I have not add this thing. We have the map view. Okay, so these are the how the interface look like. Okay, so now the interface, you can design it with layout, scroll. We have linear layout. Now this linear layout, when you put something inside, let me add another button. Look at the way the linear H layout. Look at the way it arrange things. Now this linear V vertical, when you add it, if you want to add something now, something will be up from up to down. You'll be arranging it like this, but this one will be arranging it like this. So you can use this to design your app. Okay, so now this is what we did. This is our design. So this was a simple. So let's run it and see what we get. Run this app. Don't forget, we haven't added any function to it. We are just adding all the widgets all these widgets. We are just adding it. Okay, so I just want you to understand the interface. The interface is called view. Each interface has view. Okay, like this one we have only one view. So open it. I'm installing it now. So when I install it, I'll open it. Now look at our app. The button. When someone click on this button, I just added. I didn't add any function to it. Okay, so this is a test view button. Edit test. This one is called edit test. Maybe if you want to write, you can see it give me a way to write something. Okay, so like if I want to log in something now, I'll write my name, write this. So this test view give user way to ask. And this image view, if I add picture here, now this image I can use the ID to get picture. Okay, now look at Checkbox. So we have a lot of this. If you want to add it, if you don't even know it, you can search on Google like testbox source code. Then they will give you add it to your app. Like that one, that radio button that sketchware don't have, you can search radio button source code, you will get it. Okay, look at this switch. When it's off, it's false. When it's on, it's true. This one too, when it's check, is true. When it's uncheck, is called false. So when we are going to access it through this thing at the back where we program it, you understand this. So I'm talking about the user interface now. Now the second part, we are going to use, we are going to create something like when we press this thing, when we press this button, this text will change to another thing. When we press this one, this text will change. And we are going to, in the second part, we are going to learn when we put something here, we have to get that text. You have to get it and put it somewhere. Get the text here and put it somewhere here. We are doing that is the programming. We are programming it now. We are programming it. That's what we are going to do in the second part. Okay. Now this image, we are going to do a button that when we click check, this image will change to something. When we uncheck it, so that's what we call at the back. We call it event, like at the back. Now let's check this. I think this time is going on. And so you can see event. So here we will put all the code here. When back button press, when all this thing. So when you understand this, to develop Android application on Android Studio will be very easy for you. Okay, so don't forget this me best thing. So we stop here. The next one we are going to look at the programming part, the back, how to program this so that they will function together. Like this one now, they are just image, they are nothing. Okay, so thank you. If you have a friend that want to learn, invite him or her to come and learn. It's free. When you learn this app, learn to use this app. Learn it. When you learn it, it will become easy for you to write anything. I told you this is the place I started. I started on sketchware developing app. Later now I switched to listen. Everything was very easy. So if you have to can you come. Oh yeah now. So where do I stop this thing now?